this is Ruth Royal from Youth Pledge for Employers, and I'm really pleased to be here today with John Shooter, who is Group Managing Director for Glazing Vision. Hi, John. Lovely to meet you.
Hello. Lovely to see you again.
Right. So, first of all, John, tell us a bit about Glazing Vision.
Well, Glazing Vision are the UK's leading manufacturer of flat glass roof lights. We sell mainly to high-end clients throughout the world, actually. So we install roof lights as far as Australia, Hong Kong. We've set up a manufacturing base now in the USA as well. So we are worldwide manufacturer of glass roof lights, or skylights as they like to call them internationally as well. So, but everything, majority of things are manufactured here in Diss in Norfolk.
Wow.
And we supply around the world.
That's fantastic to hear, because so often you just don't know what's on your doorstep, do you? That's so brilliant.
Exactly.
Talking to people, finding out about the different organisations that are right here with us in Norfolk and Suffolk. Tell us a bit about there must be a lot of different jobs that people do at Glazing Vision to make that happen.
Yeah, of course.
Would you talk us through perhaps some of the jobs that people do and the different skills they have?
Yeah, so we start in sales and marketing, which is obviously speaks for itself. But we have project management teams. We then have a team of in-house designers. So a lot of the work we do is custom or bespoke. So we design roof lights from scratch. Some of our roof lights can slide open. We specialise in terraced access all around the world for big cities. So they're designed from a team of designers that sit here. We then out in the factory, we have electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, welders, and we take on quite a few apprentices every year. So this year we're about to take on a design apprentice. We've in the past had engineering apprentices, and we've also got welding apprentices, as well as some office-based apprenticeships as well. So we offer IT and marketing in the past as well. So we're a big believer in apprenticeships, and we like to see that develop.
And that breadth of apprenticeship that's available as well. I mean, that's really great to hear that that's sort of like an entry route into your organisation. With all those different aspects to your business, what sort of skills do you feel that people need? For example, like if they want to come in on the more technical engineering side, what sort of things are you looking for in entry level?
Obviously, maths always plays a part in everything we do, but I think it's more what we look for is more of the aptitude in people, that people have the right mindset and the enthusiasm and the dedication to their career, and want to do well and want to have a career. So it's more about the actual way people come across in interview and the passion and everything they have for engineering. So typically it's people that actually like to play with things and like find problems and problem solving skills as well. So it's a lot of it is actually about I like to hear people's enthusiasm and hear what they're interested in and how they speak about that interest, because that means more to me than anything. When I left school, I didn't leave school with a lot. It was only when I went to college that I started to thrive, and therefore I'm not going to restrict people that come with the right attitude and want to succeed.
I think that's a great thing for people to know about your company, because often people sometimes think, don't they, in technical jobs that they might be put off from applying because they might feel that they've already got to be a finished product themselves.
Exactly.
So many of us, even at 48 like me, John, we're all still developing, aren't we?
Still developing skills. I remember the day I joined as sales and marketing manager with no engineering background. And I remember the day our technical director said to me, "My God, John, you're now an engineer."
And you thought, I know that I've progressed. So when you sort of say you're looking for those things from people, what sort of things do you do to find out, whether or not people are the right fit for you? Do you have like an application, an interview process, or an open?
Yeah, we have an interview process, and we ask some very poignant questions on there to try and get to know the person. And I always felt that at an interview I could actually answer what an interviewer would be asking. I could get behind the question and give them the answer they were looking for. So I try and take people outside their box and actually get to know them as individuals, because not only are we interviewing them, we're trying to figure out whether they're going to fit our ethos and our culture and into our team. But I also think one of the key aspects for any young person looking for a role is it's their opportunity to interview you as well. And I think that gets kind of lost, and they get so scared with the
Yeah.
fact that they're going to an interview. You've got to remember, you should be interviewing a company to see if you want to join that company. So you know that it's finding that right balance and finding that person that's asking you pointing questions, and actually trying to understand the company a bit more, so whether they'll fit in here as well. So it's finding the right fitting people.
Absolutely. And I guess part of that as well, if people are asking you questions, you know that they've researched your company
I've
and that
done
they're
that.
interested in working there. And I think that's sometimes
Exactly.
the thing that gets missed.
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to that enthusiasm question that I
Yeah.
mentioned earlier on. It goes back to enthusiasm. And if they've taken the time to do a bit of research and look at the company and understand the company, then they're obviously a bit more enthusiastic to want the role.
Yeah. And so with your organization, and say for example like the people who are working in the engineering, what sort of engineering are they doing on the shop floor for you?
All sorts of things. But we have in terms of our mechanical engineering, we have CNC machines that
Okay.
we use, CNC saws, CNC drills. We're using old-fashioned lathes even as well. So real basic engineering as well, which I love to see.
Yeah.
So anything from engineering, figuring out how things are going to go together. Like I said, some of the projects we do are very bespoke. So we have to take what the designers designed and then make that into an actual working product. And obviously that transition is never always as smooth as you'd like. So we have to do some adjustments, and you have to work out using tolerances, and we have technical work instructions and guides that they have to use to interpret what the designer's trying to get to, and actually make it real in real life, and make sure everything fits together. And we test everything thoroughly in-house as well.
Yeah, I mean that sounds really interesting, and also like you say, kind of really detailed. That attention to detail sounds almost
Detail.
as
Yeah.
important as actually like the engineering skills. I guess that is a massive engineering skill anyway. Attention to
Yes, it
detail,
is.
isn't
Yeah, yeah.
it? From a sort
Engineers tend to have that. They tend to have that attention to detail anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure that's very true. So for somebody joining you perhaps on the engineering front, could you sometimes job descriptions feel really flat. So you talk us through like a day in the life of like one of your engineers. What sorts of things might they do? What might their typical workday look like?
Again, because there's so vast in terms of different engineers in different areas of the company. I mean, our mechanical engineers would literally, they're building roof lights from scratch. So
Yeah.
anything from bonding and fettling parts, making adjustments to parts, putting together a motor to make sure that
Wow.
works. So it varies every day. And I think that's what makes it fairly unique here and keeps the
Yeah.
interest, because they're working on different products all the time. So from once they get a product, you're literally starting from scratch. You're building a build frame out of timber. You're then you're putting the parts together out of aluminum or aluminium, whichever country I'm working in. I have to keep switching between the different nooses. So yeah, it really depends on what area and aspect that they're taking into
Yeah.
consideration. But we have to glaze a lot. Most of our stuff is made of glass. We have to be very careful. Glass is very fragile and very
Yeah.
heavy, so we have to manipulate that into place as well. So there's lots of different calculations done to work out what will work and what won't work. And yeah, there's a lot of interaction, like I said previously, with design and all areas of the business to make
Mm.
sure that the roof light is going to be put together correctly and work.
So that's sort of a bit about sort of that mechanical engineering. What other sort of engineering do you have there? Obviously, sort of the design aspect, I guess.
We have designers who use CAD software from
Right.
scratch. We also have electrical engineers who put together all up. We have our own control boards, so all the electrics are
Oh,
done
right.
in-house.
Yeah.
So that makes us unique in the industry. That's one of our unique selling points, is
Wow.
that we do all our own electrics. We have our own control boards. So we putting together the electrical components for all the roof lights that we do. So we have people that then put those into the roof lights, but we then have a research department that's looking at the next thing that we're going to do.
Oh
There's
my
a big push on
gosh.
the moment at Internet of Things. So
Yeah.
being able to control the roof light remotely via your phone, via
Yeah.
Alexa or Google. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what we're working on at the moment. So yeah, we also offer work placements, and we've had several students here this year doing getting involved in the electrical engineering side as well as the mechanical engineering side, and they've found real real enjoyment in playing with some of the control systems that we use.
I bet that's awesome fun.
It can be.
And I mean, that's so interesting, and the breadth of that from an engineering perspective, and like you say, that obviously makes your business quite unique, like having some of those different aspects in one place. What about the other side, the non-technical side? What we sort of touched lightly on some of those different departments. How, what sort of entry points, you've talked about some apprenticeships, what sort of entry points might there be into those different departments? And again, what sort of skills or behavioural attitudes are you looking for there?
Yeah, that really, you're looking at organizational skills from the office, time management, demonstration time management, working as a team, those sort of aspects. Like I said, we have brought in marketing apprenticeships and IT apprentices, and that was our first real go with apprentices in the office, and that's worked out really well. And that's something we would look at in the future. We're open to look at opportunities. We want to help develop young people into careers where they're interested in going in. So we have purchasing, accounts, say operations, design. There's so many different aspects to what we do here.
Despite those sort of different aspects here, you've got the organisational, the teamwork, the sort of the time management, those kind of things, and obviously perhaps slightly different interests for people. Some people perhaps with more of an IT bias or a marketing bias. Is there anything sort of behaviourally, you said with the technical side you're looking for that enthusiasm for things. Is there anything in particular you're looking for as well for other sort of entries?
It would be enthusiasm for that particular career and why they want that particular career. But like we said, organised and time management is the key, and working as a team, because the office is very much you're in a team. You're in a department, so you've got to be able to work with other people. Often it's liaising with other departments as well. So your communication skills need to be probably more attuned to working and not being afraid to go and ask people questions, and putting your head above the parapet to ask a question or give an opinion.
Oh, that's brilliant. And that's really comprehensive in terms of understanding sort of how the business works and how people might come to work for you. Do you tend to advertise your job vacancies at any particular time of year for entry points, or just as and when they come up, or do you look for engineers?
Something we've been discussing only yesterday. I had the HR manager in my office, and we were talking about, okay, we need to start looking at this in early, straight after Christmas in January, and making people aware of what opportunities that we have. So now, so we're going to work to a new schedule that we're going to start to promote the opportunities that we have in January, and those opportunities will be for work experience, but also for apprenticeships, and we'll start that in January.
Oh, fantastic. That's really helpful, I think, as well, like for people to understand, if they're sort of interested in working for you, what that time frame might look like. But probably just to sort of end on, John, if you were, we've sort of asked everybody this really, but if you were to go back and have a conversation with your younger self, what piece of career advice would you give yourself?
It's more about confidence, having the confidence to follow my dreams. To work harder. I'd definitely go back to preschool and actually take school a little bit more seriously, because I didn't take my father was in the RAF, and I moved from school to school.
So challenging.
I found it more. It was more important for me to fit in than to do well at school. And I never kind of really got knuckled down and worked hard at school. It was only when I went to college that I started to work hard enough to achieve. So I think I'd talk to myself and tell myself the importance of working hard at school and what I could do to get the grades that I needed.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's often many of us would go back and say those sorts of things. But I like your piece as well about having the confidence to sort of follow what it is that you're interested in. What would you say in terms of following that dream? What makes this job so perfect for you? What do you really love about your job?
What I love about my job is there's so much. I mean, you don't stay 18 years at a place and not enjoy it. I don't see it as a job. This is my life. This is what I do. I'm in a very fortunate position, because I'm traveling the world. I spend a lot of time in New York, in the US, and I stand on some of the most expensive houses in the world for pop stars, film stars, footballers, you name it. I've been very fortunate in terms of the houses that I get to work on and visit. So think what makes me work though is that I'm very much a people person, and I know that's used quite extensively, but I can change for the audience that I have to change for, and that's something I've learned over time. And again, because my father being in the RAF, I had to change as I met different people, but that came with confidence. I had to gain that confidence. I spent a year in the Czech Republic as part of my degree.
Wow.
And that changed me as a person and gave me the confidence to stand up and realize that I had a voice, and I'm the only person that's going to be shouting about me. And that's what my advice to any young person is have that confidence in yourself, because nobody's going to give it to you. Nobody's going to hand it to you. You've got to go and get what you want. I had a mindset change that I wanted to suddenly be the best at everything. And that was the best thing that happened to me, because then I got more competitive and I started to want to be the best at anything. And when the managing director role at Glazing Vision came up, I was the obvious choice. I didn't have to interview for it. I was approached to become the managing director. I wanted it. I never said I wanted it, but everybody knew that I was the obvious choice because I wanted to be the best.
That's fantastic advice and a really interesting reflection about yourself. That drive to want to be the best, I think, is, it really gets people's careers moving. And once you have that sort of intent, then I think that pushes you forward. But thank you so much. That's just a brilliant note to end on, John. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Ruth. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.